Hey everyone, this is Leo Sarum from the Gaming Generation, and today I'd like to name the 5 swords that are the most iconic in all gaming. Let's start with number 5. That's the Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts. Now, Kingdom Hearts borrows a lot from Disney in terms of characters and locations. Some other things are borrowed from other Square Enix IPs. However, the franchise mixes those aspects in a special way to create something unique, then it adds completely new things on top of that. It's like a cauldron of ideas that makes for a unique world. And in that unique world, one of the most unique things are the Keyblades. They have a single concept that is really iconic and remarkable for a fantasy franchise. They are like something I haven't seen in any other place. Thus I do believe they deserve a spot on the list. And the number 4 is the Energy Sword from Halo. Energy swords have been a hot pick in any sci-fi universe ever since Star Wars. The Halo franchise brought us many of the sci-fi tropes and elements in unique ways, and with strong presentation. The Energy Sword is Halo's pick on the subject, and they gave it a whole deep place in their universe. This is a type of weapon wielded by the Sangheili alien race. For them, it is a symbol of honor, nobility, and bravery. The Sangheili culture heavily revolves around the use of those swords. They are a military society. The weapon's design is fit for those creatures' hand structure and violent behavior, making it so that it really matches its purpose on that world. For all those merits and for being in one of the biggest gaming franchises of the modern era, this place is greatly iconic. The number 3 is Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII, the sword wielded by Cloud Strife, the protagonist. When you think of swords in gaming, you think of RPGs. When you think about RPGs, you probably think of Final Fantasy. And when you think of Final Fantasy VII is one of the games that had the most impact on the whole industry. Being the first 3D game of the franchise, it featured a heavily emotional cinematic narrative, making it so that the connection between the players and the game's characters was really strong. The main character of that game, as I already said, is Cloud Strife, and his weapon is the Buster Sword, a blade he inherited from his late friend, Zack. The Buster Sword is the typical oversized, impractical fantasy blade, and its place in gaming culture makes it very remarkable. This weapon is not only a huge part of a huge game's iconography, as it is the most famous representative of the giant RPG sword trope. Number 2 is Soul Calibur / Soul Edge. Now, Soul Calibur is one franchise that heavily revolves around bladed or blunt weapons, basically non-firearms weapons, and they have the main swords of the franchise, of course, are the Soul Calibur and Soul Edge, the antagonic good and evil swords, and their design is intricate. It's not something that someone outside the industry will just look and see, oh, that's a Soul Calibur. But they have such a strong presence in their fiction. And being that Soul Calibur, as I already said, is one of the biggest franchises in fighting games that revolve around the use of weapons. It's like the weapons have personalities and places in the story of their own. Being that those two blades have a very strong presence and they are really like iconic in their own right. They are not heavily recognized for those who don't know about the franchise, but being that their universe revolves so much around them, I have to give them a spot on the list, because they are like the most meaningful objects in their universes in a special way, and that is something to be reminded. It's something for you to think about it, So those blades have a very strong presence. Now, the special mention, before we go to the top spot, there is a special mention, and that is Masamune blades. You know, most Japanese RPGs have at least one katana blade, one sword that is called Masamune. And there is a reason for that. Even in different franchises there are Masamune blades. The reason is that Masamune was a real-life Japanese blacksmith who made katanas, and thus his swords were legendary. Like, a Masamune blade is something to be really treasured if you can preserve one. There are some around the world, some around the real world that are preserved, and they have very high value because of their craftsmanship. Then Masamune gained a name for himself in the real world, and that was transferred for RPGs. We have some on Final Fantasy, we have on Chrono Trigger, and on other RPGs as well. That is something to be... That means that Masamune blades are all around the place, and they are somewhat iconic because of that. And that is the reason they're on the list. Let's go to the top spot. The Master Sword from The Legend of Zelda. And I swear, I try my best to steer away from being a fanboy. You know, I like Zelda a lot. But I know, when you think of gaming swords, what do you think most people will say, not only gamers? Zelda is a very popular franchise, even for people who are in the border of being gamers or not. Thus, the presence of the Master Sword is huge in the world, you know? I'm talking about the most iconic blades here. Master Sword is noticed far from way further than the other blades. And that is not to take away all the merit it has in its world. I'm not trying to downgrade it and say that only because non-gamers can recognize it is why it's on the list. It's because it's an amazing sword as well. It has a very cool design. When you look at it with the blade down, it sort of makes an M with the purple part that is for master. I really love that yellow gem it has before the blade starts. I like swords with gems in general, you know. And its place in fiction is really important, because it is the blade that can defeat Ganon, you know, the main antagonist of the series. This is the blade of Evil's Bane. The legendary, the hero, the chosen one should wield it to destroy that beast. Yeah, I love the Master Sword. To be honest, I like the purple quilt, the purple part of it, but I kinda like the first version of the sword where it was grey in that area. But either way, the Master Sword has a mythos of its own with its origin and the many times it was reforged to become stronger. Master Sword is out there, you know, in many games. You can see, since there is Link in Soul Calibur, Link in Smash Brothers, and many Zelda titles where Link has to use that weapon, this is a weapon that's been seen in many places. And that's why the Master Sword tops the list. Now, is there any other blade that you like a lot that I haven't named here? Please tell us in the comments. And don't forget to stay tuned to the Gaming Generation on YouTube and Facebook for more gaming content. Also, look up Leo Saron Games on those platforms for awesome gaming content as well. Thanks for watching, my friends. This is Leo Saron, going out.